Well, it is the elaborate scam that duped grandmother Greer Thompson out of more than $70,000. And get this, the fraudsters even tried to con one of our reporters.
Well, I thought if I don't do what he tells me, we're going to lose everything.
It was almost like she was being brainwashed.
How could I be so gullible and stupid?
Rick is not your real name. This is a scam.
Yourself, bitch.
Elderly Australians can feel foolish, and they shouldn't. It's the scammers who are very savvy.
When Greer Thompson's landline rang, she had no idea how expensive one call could be.
A phone call from Telstra telling me that the internet and our landline were going to be compromised and disconnected.
The 73-year-old's volunteer work had stopped thanks to COVID-19. With more time at home and more worries on her mind, she believed them when they said hackers were infiltrating her computer.
And me not knowing what the real deal was, I just bloody went along with it.
The scammer said his name was Rob Wilson from Telstra and he was calling from an Australian number. He advised her to install a program called TeamViewer to help fix the problem. What it did was provide the scammers with full control of her computer.
He said, now, ma'am, you need to go to your bank and draw out $10,000 and deposit it into an account I'm going to give you.
Greer was told this was the only way they could catch the hackers and she needed to visit her bank in person to do it.
I was on the phone to him when I went into the bank to draw that money out.
Hilary Adamson is Greer's sister and says she's usually very switched on to scams.
It was almost like she was being brainwashed into doing what she was doing because there was no other explanation.
Brainwashing is really the only explanation for what Greer did next, all up transferring $72,500 in 6 separate transactions over 5 days. Her partner, Peter Gibbons, who has an acquired brain injury from a mining accident, says he got short shrift when trying to warn her.
Shut up. It's all right, just leave me alone.
She wouldn't listen to you.
She wouldn't listen to me.
Greer's daughter eventually found out what was happening and delivered her own desperate plea.
If it's the last thing I do for you, you have to go down to the bank and tell them what's going on.
Greer then also confided in her sister Hilary and took her along for moral support.
To walk into the bank that day and see her in that state was really, really sad. It was a terrible, terrible day.
It's the shame, it's the embarrassment. Why would I do something like that?
Greer kept meticulous notes of each transfer, all sent to Australian bank accounts in the name of Anish Kadki, Umaid Ahmed, Adasha Sanchuri, Ashish Shrestha and Ishwar Thapa.
There they all are there, various accounts.
The Brisbane grandmother almost lost more, with scammers showing her this fake cheque for $150,000 as an assurance that all would be repaid in full. Once she stopped sending money, the once charming Rob Wilson from Telstra left this desperate voicemail.
Ma'am, if you don't want to talk to me, you just talk to me once. We have sent them the check. Okay, they are trying to reach you, nearby you. They are nearby your residence to give you the check. Please talk to me once, okay? Just talk to me once.
How do you feel when you hear that voice now?
Oh, terrible, because I know that he's scammed me.
I know you're probably thinking, how could anyone send so much money? But once these scammers think they've got you, they're almost impossible to shake off. I know because they've even tried to scam me. Hello?
Yeah, hello, sir. This is Rick Wilson once again. I hope you remember we have a word with you, right?
Rick, what part are you not listening? This is a scam and the Australian Federal Police is investigating you as we speak.
Who told you about this matter?
Repeated warnings that I've informed police are not enough to shake the so-called Rick Wilson calling from Telstra.
You're a liar, Rick.
Telstra.
You don't work with Telstra.
You don't work with anyone, you're lying.
Like, do you understand what I'm telling you? I'm telling you who told, told about this matter.
Mate, the Australian Federal Police investigating this. Stop calling me.
Yourself, bitch.
And with COVID and increases in technology, you've got customers and victims, if you like, stuck at home, more accessible and more available to scammers.
Fiona Cameron is from ACMA, our telecommunications regulator. Last year, scams cleaned out $489 million from unsuspecting Aussies. Most come by landline, targeting elderly Australians who've always trusted their telephone.
And I think that trust has been drastically eroded. And I think phone companies now appreciate that's not good for business, and it's certainly not good for customers.
The scammers use what's called spoofing to mask their overseas number with what looks like an Australian number. And the phone companies here are finally starting to crack down.
So slowly but surely the phone companies are getting together, they're sharing information, they're monitoring phone calls and they're blocking spoofed numbers.
Telstra declined to be interviewed about the scams originating in its name, but said in a statement,
"We will never make an unsolicited call asking for remote access into your computer or demand your sensitive personal or financial information."
Technology is allowing scammers to be so much more sophisticated. So, Mum and Dad, think about it. Every time you answer the phone, be a little bit careful because you can't trust the phone, unfortunately, like you used to be able to.
They're just out there and they can get you. It doesn't matter who you are. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah, poor Greer. And if you receive any of these scam calls, don't send them anything. But if they give you a return phone number, please send us an email with the details and we can investigate further. We'll get Dan onto them.